Okay, at least we record some part of this lah. My apologies ya, tadi lupa untuk record. Kalau Zoom, it's quite easy. Hmm. Okay, back to the lecture. Meanings are in people. Let me go back a little bit there. Just for the record, we're talking about words, yeah? Words, how words work. Words, symbols are just symbols. Words are arbitrary. Oops, what is this? Sorry. Let me close this one first. Okay. Hopefully it works. Okay, so words are... No, I don't want to do that. Just to repeat what I've just mentioned just now, words are symbols, they are arbitrary, ambiguous, words are also abstract, and words are denotative and connotative. That's the one that I just explained. And I was on meanings of the word are in people, right? And words are culture bound. So let's go to that section. Yeah, we've looked at this just now. What is this? Okay. All right, so something that's blocking my... okay, let's put it on the side. Blocking my view. Okay, words arbitrary. Contoh tadi bunga. It's an arbitrary word. It can so the context of the word, ya, bergantung kepada the situation you are in, right? And then, okay, what's next? Next, we're talking about the ambiguous. Let me move this. It's supposed to be there. Right. Okay, so words are ambiguous, right? It has more than one meaning, right? So so I have to be very careful and make sure that you refer to the correct things or terms that we use, ya. Jangan sampai satu perkataan ataupun perkara itu kamu faham tapi orang lain tak faham, ya. Mungkin maknanya berlainan bagi orang yang lain. Okay. Are you following me, or am I losing you? I'm still sharing, right?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm going over this because I forgot to record earlier on. Yeah? So what's abstract, right? So in other words, when you are talking or you're communicating with another person or group of people, make sure that you use terms which are specific rather than using some abstract term, for example. Right? So we try to make it concrete as possible, more concrete terms rather than apa nama abstract terms. Yeah. Then yeah, and then we went through this again. This slide, words are denotative and connotative. Yeah, ada makna, denotative meaning, and also connotative meaning as well. Okay, the connotation tu. Ini kadang-kadang yang kita that we forgot, yeah, that some words have other meaning, yeah, other than the one that we intended, yeah, it for. Jadi, so that again depends on the person that we're talking to, and also so the background of the person, the situation we are in, ataupun the context where communication takes place and so on, ya. Jadi itu mempunyai makna yang sama ada negative ataupun positive connotations to a person. So yeah, so be careful lah, yeah. Particularly if you are dealing with different cultures, yeah, people with different personal experiences and so on. So they may attach a certain meaning to it, yeah, beyond the original meaning of the word that we intended to use, yeah. Okay, so we are on this slide just now. Okay, let me go back there. So different people can understand the same words differently, and to truly get an idea or sense about what a person is saying, you need to listen and listen carefully to make sure that you understand the words as you think about the way these words play in the context of the speaker's life. Right? So, in other words, meanings are in people, not in words. Yeah, it is the people who gives the significance of a message. Okay. Ini contoh ya. Um, okay, contoh happiness, for example, right? So happiness adalah uh, it's a term, yeah, it's a word, but it has different meanings to different people, right? So what is happiness to you? What do you consider as happiness? Having friends, yeah, or having lots of money, or having peace of
Yes.
mind? Yeah, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Having a lot of money.
A lot of money, a lot of friends, music, listening to music. Some people look for happiness by going to the club or to the bar drinking. Itu pun satu one way of people interpret, happiness, romance, um, friends, hobby, and so on. Yeah. So, in other words, the term or the word um, is the meaning of the word is in the people rather than you. You have the in your case you may refer to happiness in a different way, but other people, particularly those who are communicating with, may interpret the word or the terms differently. Yeah. Okay. Any question on this? See, what I'm trying to do is to remove this thing that's blocking my view. Uh, okay. All right, I got it. Hmm. Trial and error. Okay, if not, then we move on. Yeah. Okay, let's. I want to share with this one later on, but let me. Okay, click this uh, on that context lah. Sekejap, ya. Okay, I will share this one. Stop sharing that one, and I'll share this for a while. Ya, sekejap ya. This is a short video regarding that issue tadi lah. Okay, let's watch this for. It's about 3 minutes or so. Boleh dengar kan? Sorry. Can you hear? The
No.
tak dapat. Okay, let me adjust again. Let me go back. I know what the problem is. Okay, then go back and share. Share browser. Share multimedia. Okay. Share my meeting. Okay. Oops, sorry. No. Um, yeah. Mm, okay. Jangan- Tadi. Hmm. Ya, ya. Okay. I used to know how to do this. I don't know. My apologies. No, that's not the one I'm trying to share with you. That's not the one. Tak boleh dengar. Um, hmm, Sekejap. Lost it. This one. Whoops. Hang on. The battery is running low. I forgot to connect the power. Sekejap. All right. Let me see if I can show the connected with the system. It's not there anymore. Okay, let me do it again. Oh, let me do it again. That. Okay. Okay, you can see this, right? I mean, you can see this, right?
We can't see anything, sir.
No, sir.
For another episode of Communication Today.
Okay, let me test again. You can see, but you cannot hear. Is that right?
We can hear, but we cannot see.
Oh, can hear, you cannot see. That's strange. Okay, hold on. Kejap. I don't know how to. Do you know, anybody knows how to do this? You can hear, but you can't see. Nah, itu satu masalah juga dalam komunikasi nih. Let me see if I can note that one. That's kind of strange. Okay. Let's go back. Maybe this will do. Hold on. This one. Going home. Where can I show? That's the one. Okay. Yep, I got something wrong. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to get that. Hold on. I have to use this. Java. Hang on. The
Welcome to another episode of Communication Today. In my last episode, I talked about...
Okay. Let me check. Does it work or not?
I had a number of people inquiring about that very statement and wanting to know more and
no,
wanting me to
don't think
elaborate more as to what I meant.
Yes, we
It
could
does, but
see it
do you
just
see
now.
the video?
And research the word
Just now we saw it, sir.
the word run and just look at
Boleh nampak? Oh?
usages there is for the
Tadi.
run.
Now
Okay,
tak
okay.
dah.
170. See, words have
You did share the link to
we need
us
be aware
just
of that.
now, Prof.
Sekejap. Sekejap.
That we are quite passionate about, but
Sekejap.
other people that we are communicating with may not have those same understandings or
Okay.
that same passion. When we use
I'm trying
a lot
to
of
fix the problem.
we need to make sure that we use the words that other people will understand from their perspective.
Okay. I think that's enough.
In my last episode, I talked about meanings are in people, not in words. I had a number of...
Does that work?
Yes, sir.
Boleh dengar? Boleh nampak?
Yeah. Yes,
All
boleh.
right.
Dua-dua.
All right. Getting too complicated for me, being an old man like me. The technology, I'm behind in technology. Okay, let's start all over again. Yeah. Okay.
Welcome to another episode of Communication Today. In my last episode, I talked about meanings are in people, not in words. I had a number of people inquiring about that very statement and wanted to know more and wanted me to elaborate more as to what I meant by that. There's a simple solution. Go to dictionary.com and research the word run. Type in the word run and just look at how many usages there is for the word run. There is over 170. See, words have different meanings to different people, and we need to be aware of that. We may hold meanings to words tightly to our chest that we are quite passionate about, but other people that we are communicating with may not have those same understandings or that same passion. When we use adjectives and when we're describing things, we need to make sure that we use the words that other people will understand from their perspective, not yours. So how do you do this? How do you pick up these little keys when you're communicating with other people? It's quite simple. It's called effective listening. Really paying attention to the people that you're communicating with. What are the key words that they use? When they're describing something, when they're passionate about something, what are the words that they use? Are they using sensational? Is it beautiful? Is it tremendous? Is it fantastic? What are those words that they use? Because if you use something different, it could be the complete opposite in their eyes or in their mind. See, we have different words which we use through cultural upbringings and which we've used for years and years, and we hold them true to ourselves, but it could be completely different to the person that you're communicating with. So please think about this. This is really important. This will build instant connection, because if you understand the words that somebody else is using that you're communicating with, and you use those same words back to them, you will build that instant connection. Words are extremely powerful when used correctly, when they're thought about, when you think about what the other person's perspective is and what words they use, and when you repeat them back. Don't just choose words that you believe are correct and assume that the other person expects exactly the same. Meanings are in people, not in words. So listen effectively. Really be attuned with the person that you're communicating with. Really listen and even write down the words that they use if you happen to be communicating over the phone. And next time you meet with them, ensure that you use those words back to them and watch the connection that you will form. This is an extremely powerful tip. Think about it. Put it into play. Use it today. Remember, communication really does change your destination. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to bringing you my next episode.
Okay, so that's a short video that I wanted to share with you on the subject of meanings are in people. Boleh faham kan? That's just to explain further what I've mentioned earlier on. Okay, let's stop this video application. Okay. Take out that one too. All right. So let's go back to the lecture and share once again my notes. Okay, so this is where we were just now. Okay, let's this PowerPoint presentation. Okay. All right. So we move on. Okay. The other one is that words are culture bound. Words are culture bound. Okay, let's look at this. There's one African proverb which says it takes a whole village to raise a child. Okay, so itu proverb orang African. I believe it's specifically the Nigerian, Nigerian proverb. So that has a lot of meaning, which may be different from what we ordinary people interpret it as to be. Yeah. So actually, the main idea behind this proverb is that it takes a whole community in the context of African culture, in Nigerian culture. It takes a whole community and not just the two parents to bring up a child. Yeah, so the extended family also have an important role to play as well. So ni macam just like dalam some of our cultures also quite similar. But the meaning of these words, yeah, is more than just what they say in there, ya. Maknanya lebih mendalam. Dalam kalangan orang apa nama ni, orang Nigerian, maybe not all of them lah, but certain tribes of the Nigerian of Nigeria, sorry, they have this kind of saying, yeah. So everybody take cares of more or less the newborn. They more or less they are very proud. They take care of the new child, bring it up, yeah. So not just the family. Yeah, the whole idea also is that um, other people also caring for the child, not just the two parents, yeah, husband and wife. Okay. The other one, this is a Chinese proverb. If your face is ugly, you can't blame the mirror. Ini also words which are culture bound. Yeah. So, for example, stop blaming others for your ugliness. If you don't like the person you see in the mirror, then you have nobody to blame but yourself. Tapi ini uh, that's exactly what that Chinese proverb means, but it means more than that lah actually, right? Kalau you ada masalah, if you have a problem, it is your problem. You don't blame other people for your problem, actually, yeah. You blame it on yourself. So a lot of people actually now, even today, if they have a problem, they put the blame on other people. They don't want to own the uh, the problem. Itu masalahnya. Politicians do this a lot. Yeah, they say one thing yesterday, and when people criticize them for what they're saying, they said it's not his problem. This problem with the apa nama tu, dengan media, dengan reporter dan sebagainya who misinterpreted him and so on and so forth. Okay, that's one example lah. Jadi words are culture bound. So in other words, be careful in using words, especially if you are person who people macam menteri lah, for example. These are public figures, right? So anything you say, people will pay attention to and and analyze what you say. Yeah, but ordinary people like us, for example, may not have the same kind of treatment lah, right? I'm you may have you may think that I'm as a lecturer, um, kamu pun ada perception of me as well, right? Jadi if I have a problem, I cannot blame on you. Okay, just like what I did just now, I went through a lot of trouble trying to fix the apa nama the system, Webex and whatnot tadi. Yeah, that's my fault. It's not your fault. Yeah. Okay, so words are culture bound. Jadi banyak lagi lah contoh-contoh yang boleh menerangkan perkara tersebut. Okay, the power of words. Words create perceptions. Why is that so? Because the word that we say or that we use, and also the way we say it, yeah, have create a lot of meanings, perceptions, yeah, by the people who are listening, who we are talking to, yeah. And words are also packaged, yeah. In other words, this words are put together, yeah, to put together so it makes meaning, yeah. For example, in a sentence and so on. All right. So, and it can influence definitely our thoughts, yeah. What we convey maybe is what we have in mind. I mean, our thoughts and so on. Yeah. So our thoughts may be interpreted. Yeah. Um, can be understood by others. So it is, contoh lah kalau if we have something in our mind and we want to convey it, we want to pass the message to other people, yeah, whether it is sadness or happiness and so on and so forth. So that is what we have in our mind, and we express it by using words, yeah, to convey our message of what we have in our minds and our thoughts. Okay. And words definitely influence our actions, yeah, influence actions, um, because what we do and all that, yeah, sometimes we use words, yeah, to tell people what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do things and so on, yeah. So dalam keadaan-keadaan tertentu, the way you use the words and so on express our action. Yeah, marah contohnya. Dalam keadaan marah, you use some kind of words which you don't normally use in normal times. Yeah, uh, so it influence our actions. Ya, kadang-kadang sampai menyebabkan um, causing harm to other people. Yeah, your action tu sampai kita tak terfikir rationally what you do based on the word. Yeah, jadi words influence our actions, and also words affect and reflect the culture as well. Yeah, it affects and also reflect the culture. Jadi I have pointed out earlier on. Different cultures have different ways of interpreting different words, yeah, and so on. Yeah, jadi um, so if you just listen to the person talking to you, other than people of your own culture, you may find this relevant lah. We have in our faculty too, we have people from different countries as well, from Africa, from the Philippines, and we used to have people from the US also in the faculty, yeah, and students too, yeah, from different backgrounds and so on. Jadi, so the words we use, yeah, the way we say it or the way we pronounce it and so on are going to be different, yeah, from one culture to another. Talking about lecturer, we have one that I thought is very. I mean, I have no doubt about his or her knowledge of subject matter. Tapi masalahnya um, cara bercakap and also the way he talk and so on, saya tak faham. Yeah, difficult for me to catch, difficult for me to understand because of the way he speaks and all that. I'm quite sure he's good lah, but so I try to imagine how our students are coping with him or her in the class, right? So I'm quite sure you have come across some of this in your life as a student at UNIMAS or in even in school before, right? So words affect and also reflect the culture. Words can criticize and praise. Yeah, so words can be used to criticize and also to praise people for certain people for their actions and all that. Right. So you choose words which are appropriate. Right. Jadi have to be very careful lah with the choice of word yang digunakan. That reminds me of apa nama satu perkara yang 2-3 hari yang lepas, TB Sarawak lah, yang unfortunately this thing happened. The Deputy Chief Minister died And unfortunately, the choice of word yang digunakan instead of takziah, dia guna takniah di atas kematian. So that was critical, and luckily they apologized soon after that. Yeah, openly apologized. Yeah, yeah. Farah, anything? Any comment on that? Okay, kalau tak ada, I move on. All right, so that I think some of you may be aware of that incident. So yeah, that was by mistake lah actually. Yeah, not intended, but because of the wrong choice of word use. Mungkin juga disebabkan oleh background ataupun culture tak apa nama ni, tak biasa menggunakan perkataan tersebut lah. Mungkin menyebabkan berlaku perkara sedemikian. Again, this is talking about television, the media where publics are watching, right? So if you're talking about this in your room or whatever, nobody knows about it lah. Okay, so words can confirm and disconfirm. Betul lah. Words can confirm something and also disconfirm something as well. Yeah. So that's the purpose. Contohnya, you can say that somebody has what do you call this? Dapat award dan sebagainya, and you can say tahniah instead. Dan disconfirm, kalau katakan words you use you not sure and so on. Ya, jadi itu bentuk-bentuk lah words that you can use to confirm and disconfirm certain news and so on. Ya, right. So words also make and break relationship. Ini lagi hebat ya. Kerana apa? Because the kind of word you use, the choice of word you use may promote friendship or you can break friendship. Contohnya, secara tidak sengaja, you may use certain words which may anger the other party, right? The person that you talk to. Now, on the other hand, if you use kind words and so on, right, that may help to help the relationship between the two persons. Okay, so ini words lah, the verbal communication that we're talking about, the choice of words that you use. So my advice is to think before you say something. Think before you say something, because if you have said it, it's difficult to take back, right? So difficult to take back the word that you have said, ya, in the communication. Jadi pilihlah, ya, sebelum mengatakan sesuatu, fikirkan apakah makna perkataan tersebut dan sama ada ianya boleh mendatangkan, we said earlier on, some negative connotation dan sebagainya. Yeah. So again, the meaning, the meaning behind the word, is in the people rather than the meaning of the word that you intended for ataupun yang kamu biasa gunakan. Right. So the people who you talk to, perlu dibuat analisis lah more or less terhadap seseorang tersebut, whether you can use certain words and so on ataupun tidak. Okay, contohnya dalam keadaan official meeting dan sebagainya, some words which are meant for joke and all that may not be appropriate lah, kalau dibandingkan dengan perkataan lain ataupun other words which may be more appropriate. Okay, anything that you want to share with regard to the power of words? Comment? No? Okay, all right, so I move on. So how to manage misunderstanding? Ini perkara penting ya, because misunderstanding can be due to words that you use ya. So how to manage that? Okay. First of all, be aware of mis or unintended meaning. Itu tadi kena fahamlah apa perkataan ataupun the words that you use ya, perlu tidak mempunyai, tidak ambiguous, tidak arbitrary dan sebagainya. Okay, so beware of mis or intended meaning of the word that you use. Make sure that it's the word that you and your and the person who you're communicating with understand the meaning of the word. All right, to avoid misunderstanding. Be clear in what you say, not only in terms of the language that you're using, but also in terms of clarity, yeah, including the sound, the volume, yeah, so that people can hear you well. And avoid talking too fast. We have this apa nama among Asian, among, I mean, not only us, I think other in some other countries too. People tend to talk too fast, right? Talking too fast can be a problem because some of the words or some of the message in what you're saying may not be understood by people who are listening to you. Okay, am I going too fast? Do I talk too fast?
Sir.
Am I okay? Hopefully so lah. Hopefully I'm not going too fast or talking too fast hingga menyebabkan kamu tak faham ataupun ada tertinggal apa nama tu message dan sebagainya. Okay, so be clear in what you say. Yeah, this is a lesson for you. I know you are in your final year, all of you, I think. So soon you'll be going to the world, the working environment, and so on. So it's important for you to communicate well using words and your verbal communication. So make sure that other than the noise and all that, I think you need to be clear in what you are saying, regardless of the language, bahasa Malaysia ke, English ke, or apa nama Cantonese ke, dan sebagainya. Right? Whatever it is, make sure that your apa namanya you're clear in what you are saying. Okay. Tapi saya juga faham ya, mungkin ada seseorang yang mempunyai masalah, some problems with speech and all that. That's quite normal, yeah, because of disability and so on and so forth. That one is that we can understand. Yeah, but other than that, you have to be very, very careful to be clear about what you're saying. And as I said just now, you have to be specific and not ambiguous. Yeah, in the words, so that the meaning ataupun makna, the meaning is what is intended sampai kepada pendengar ataupun seseorang yang berkomunikasi dengan kita. Be specific. Be aware of the changes in the meaning. And this has to do with the apa nama tadi culture as well, right? Because meaning ataupun words have several meaning depending on the culture, depending on the exposure, depending on the experience, yeah, of the person who are communicating both ways, yeah. So make sure that what the word means today may be different from what it means 10 years later, because words can change, yeah. Meaning dia macam-macam, yeah. Be aware of polarizing either or extreme. Ya. Jadi maksudnya sini adalah in other words, it's either this or that. Ya, kita cuba untuk mengelakkan daripada tu. Ya, so that so it's not that it must be one. Ya, not the other. Yeah. We have again. This is about clarity. It's about making sure that people understand what you are saying. Yeah, the word that you are saying. Be unbiased, because sometimes we tend to be biased in our communication, in our verbal communication, in other words. So contohnya, sebagai contoh saja lah. Contohnya, if we are communicating with a person who used to be, working or biasa dengan orang besar, orang profesional, ya, orang kenamaan dan sebagainya. Okay? So, jadi kadang-kadang when you communicate with people who are not at that level, ya, kita cuba untuk berkomunikasi secara yang bersesuaian, ya, dengan keadaan di mana kita berkomunikasi. Janganlah gunakan apa nama words ataupun yang biasa digunakan pada peringkat formal atau peringkat high level dan sebagainya, right? So jangan, in other words, do not be biased lah in the way you communicate with friends or with your colleague who you're communicating with. Yeah. So, but words can be supportive. Yeah. So how to use words of support? Ada number one, words of support di sini describe your feelings rather than try to evaluate the behavior. So you can use word to portray or to describe your feelings and not to evaluate the behavior of the person that you are talking to, for example. Yeah. So I think the word is empathize. Maybe that's a correct word to use. Empathize with the other person, right? If you just try to imagine if you are in his place or her place, whether or not he or she understand, yeah, your feelings, your thoughts, and so on. Okay. Yang keduanya adalah to solve the problems rather than control it. Yeah. So you use word to solve problems rather than to control the problem. Again, this is regarding apa nama ni, to use the right words, the right communication skills, right? Verbal communication skill rather. You try to solve the problem rather than adding more problem, yeah, ataupun rather than just to control it. Solve the problem and not just to control it. Control meaning is to not to expand or to further the issue or the problems, but it doesn't solve the problem. So solving the problem is to stop the problem from occurring in the future. And be genuine, yeah, in communicating, right? Be genuine in the use of the words rather than manipulative. You don't use words to manipulate others, right? You genuinely use it to convey your message. For example, if you want to convey a message to congratulate another person use the correct words and so on, ataupun the other way around lah. Jadi jangan bertujuan untuk manipulasi, keadaan ataupun seseorang dengan menggunakan words which are inappropriate. Empathize rather than remain detached. That's I think I have more or less described earlier. Empathize rather than remain detached. And this is we're talking about communication between two parties. You empathize, meaning you understand the situation, right? That the person you are communicating with. For example, if you visit the family of person who died, during a funeral and all that, you try to empathize with the feelings of the person you are talking to, rather than from your own perspective. You feel what they feel, in other words. Try to understand from their side, in terms of trying to understand the situation lah. Just imagine that you are in their shoes and all that. How would you feel, right? Rather than remain detached, rather than you don't feel anything at all. In other words, so it has to be that way. Sama jugalah dengan dalam keadaan happiness, you empathize with them, how would they feel and all that, dan sebagainya. So empathize with the person or the party you communicate with, rather than being detached. Also, be flexible in the way you communicate, with the use of words and so on, rather than being too rigid. Too rigid. Scientists can be quite rigid in the terms they use, but as much as possible, we try to be flexible as well in the way we say things, we describe our feelings, our thoughts, and so on. Right? The idea is so that people can understand. The whole idea about communication, by the way, is to make sure that your message is received as it is intended. Seperti yang kita mau. Right? Jadi kalau too rigid, particularly if the two person are from different backgrounds and so on, different experiences and so on, the communication may not be effective. Meanings may be lost along the way between the communicator. And also importantly, importantly, I think I have mentioned this earlier on. Present yourself as equal rather than superior. Apa maksudnya? If you are the boss and you're talking to your employees, right? Try to present yourself as equal to them, right? So that orang yang menerima message tersebut, they will feel at ease, talking to you, rather than rather than talking to your boss, for example, right? Orang besar, orang kecil, we try to bring ourselves down if you are somebody, an officer and all that, meeting with your clients and whatever lah, orang tempatan, orang biasa. We try not to we try to be as close as possible with them and to be equal, rather than having some kind of barrier, between superior and inferior, or subordinate. Sorry, right? So So that's important, okay? Because communication can be difficult if there is this barrier between um, different levels, yeah? Um, okay, so I think you understand what I'm saying. Um, uh, between your parents and all that, it's not so bad. But if talking about, as I said, superior person, um, even among yourself, between seniors and junior, in college, for example, communication can be a problem if you don't bring yourself to an equal level with the other person. Uh, Professor and ordinary lecturer, for example, yeah, we need to present ourselves as equal, regardless of the position we are in. Okay, right. Now, making mistake is quite common, right? For example, even with the words we use. One good example, again, I think was in the media quite recently about a minister who more or less um, disagree or had problem with a person who is related, in terms of um, more or less lah, orang bawahan, tetapi in this case is about um, sports, um, person who highlighted the problem in the organization um, with regard to apa nama sexual harassment dan sebagainya. I think you know this kan. So the person I'm talking about, for example, the minister may have said something intended or unintended, but that's how the media interpret it. And so there has been a lot of criticism, and in the end, eventually, of course, initially the person seems to put the blame on the journalists, on the on the media for misinterpreting him. But eventually, I think he apologized lah. So how do we apologize if we have made a mistake, if we have made the wrong message or the wrong words that you use in communicating? Okay. First thing is, of course, to offer an apology. There's nothing wrong with offering an apology, right? Even if you have made a mistake, right? In fact, uh, to say sorry is a sign of maturity, actually, right? That you're able to accept your mistake, yeah, rather than ignore it. Yeah. So offer an apology. So explicit admission of an error, for example, along with a request for forgiveness. Ask for forgiveness that you, as a person, you are a human being, as human beings are prone to, of course, making error and so on. So you're just like any other person. You're not perfect, regardless of the position you are in. Yeah. So just simple use of the word sorry, that you all have made a mistake and own it rather than trying to put the blame on other people. Right? So explicit admission of an error, of the mistake you have made. Okay? But it's particularly, not only that, but particularly in if you are public figure, lagi penting, ya, lagi penting. And people see and watch you almost every day and so on. So what you say, what you do as a public figure is being scrutinized by people, right? By the public. So it's okay to admit that you're wrong. Yeah. So be honest and sincere to admit that you were wrong, and well, I just show up. Yeah. Be sincere, particularly if I mean it's just a picture here between boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife, and so on. Yeah. So it's okay to admit that you're wrong. Okay, if you're wrong, own up to what you didn't do right. Okay, so that's how you learn and earning respect. Okay, so in a way, by saying you're sorry, by saying that you have made a mistake. I think people respect you more rather than trying to put the blame on other people. Okay, so nowadays you can say that um, it is not my mistake. It is not what I said because everything is recorded now. Yeah, people can see either live or recorded. Right, so that's why the choice of word you may not mean it that way, but that's how people interpret it. Right, so be very careful in the choice of words and the way the message is being transmitted. Okay, so just some tips lah for you in terms of verbal communication. Okay, one of the things about being a communicator, effective communicator verbally, is to be assertive. Yeah, assertive. So assertiveness di sini merujuk kepada the ability to communicate your needs, your feelings, opinions, or even beliefs. Yeah, in an open and honest manner. Open and honest manner. That's a keyword, without violating the rights of others. Okay, so um, you try to emphasize, yeah, what you intended to say, but in a very open and honest manner, without violating the rights of the others whom you are communicating with. Yeah. So it is about confident, yeah, not defensive. You're not defensive, but it is about confidence. So in communication, it is about confidence, particularly if you are, for example, if you are presenting a paper ataupun dalam seminar ataupun sebagainya in public communication, um, one thing that you must do is to be confident about what you're trying to say or what you're saying. Now, how do you build confidence in that sense? Yeah, confidence comes from knowledge. If you have a good knowledge about what you intended to share with other people, then you will have that confidence. Ya, nah, dibandingkan dengan keadaan di mana seorang itu tidak tahu sangat, ya, lacking in knowledge in terms of what the topic is, ya, for discussion and all that, that may lower your level of confidence. Okay, so sometimes you tend to be defensive because your confidence level is low, right? So be honest lah, yeah. It's about honesty, honestly saying things, um, regarding what you intend to communicate with other people, right? So assertiveness is important. This is where you express yourself openly and honestly, confidently, and positively. So be a good communicator and also being assertive in communicating. So how do you become assertive, or how to be assertive? Okay, there's some tips lah, how to be assertive as a communicator. One is through by to state your viewpoint, yeah, where you stand, yeah, without being hesitant or apologetic, right? Um, just state where you are, um, and your views, yeah, your points or point of view, without being assistant ataupun apologetic regarding what you're going to say and so on. Yeah. Tapi saya tadi apologize to you because I have problem with the technology. Yeah. Unfamiliarity with with the technical thing and all that. That's it. But if you are doing public speaking, for example, yeah, then you just state where your viewpoint, your points ataupun your stance on something without being hesitant ataupun apologetic. Ya. Be honest. Yeah. Being assertive is also, as I said just now, is to be honest when giving or receiving feedback. Okay. Be honest about what you say, and also in giving your feedback and also receiving feedback daripada communicator. So receiving feedback ni has to do with proper listening lah, ya. Mendengar apa yang dikatakan oleh orang yang berkomunikasi dengan kita, and honest in listening, to what they're saying. So it's not a one-way traffic. Yeah, when you communicate, it's not you communicating with the other person or saying things and whatnot to the other person, but also in communication you should be listening to the other person and understand the meaning, the words that people use in giving feedback, yeah, to your um, to whatever that you talk to them about. Yeah. Okay. The other thing is some people have difficulty um, to say no. Yeah. Uh, Learn to say no to unreasonable expectations. Setengah orang tu mempunyai masalah, ya, untuk mengatakan um, tidak mau ataupun tak nak, ya. Particularly, it depends on the situation lah, ya. If he or she is your close friend and he asks you to do something, for example, but you can't do it, yeah, definitely you can't do. But sometimes it's difficult to say no, but it is the right thing to do. Yeah, learn to say no if you're too busy, right, and you have some other priorities and all that. Then it's better to say no, because if not, then you will also be in trouble. You won't be able to finish what you have intended to do because you have accepted something that that you can't do, but but you refuse to say no. It happens to me. Let me share this. It happened to me. Um, I have this little bit of problem actually, yeah, saying no um, to a request or something like that. But because of that difficulty, I have something extra to work on, something that is not in my plan, for example. But I cope lah. You have to find ways to cope with that, yeah, to deal with the extra burden. Uh, if you accept and you don't say no. But lately I have learned how to say no. Kadang-kadang to say no may impact your relationship with the other person lah somehow, right? Because you used to say yes and not no all this while, but suddenly you say no. But that's the way to do it, yeah. If you don't have the time and unreasonable expectations. Contohnya, kawan kamu nak pinjam wang, uh, from you, and you don't have enough money to share with him. Takkanlah nak kata boleh juga, ya. Sedangkan you don't have enough in your savings so on. Because that can mean that you may be running short of finances as a result of that. If you pinjamkan sedangkan kamu tak dapat. It's just one good example where situations that you may say no instead of accepting the unreasonable expectations. Okay. Do you have any example? Do you want to share? Tak ada? Okay, kalau tak ada, we move on. Right? Okay, another one. Paraphrase what others have stated to you. Jadi dalam komunikasi ini, sometimes you don't quite understand, yeah, the meaning of what people is saying to you. Ya, jadi kalau tak faham, if you don't quite understand, you try to paraphrase, yeah, you try to to say in your own words, yeah, what the person meant, so that you will understand. Ya. Kalau tak faham, you try to paraphrase what he or she stated to you, so that just to confirm what he intended to say is what you understood. Boleh ya, boleh faham? Contohnya, kalau somebody mention something to me, I was talking about, particularly people who are talking too fast, kalau ada, kadang-kadang tak faham, something get lost. So you try to paraphrase, to describe more or less what he has just mentioned to you, and find out if that is what is meant or he meant earlier on. Alright, so boleh buat begitu ya, boleh buat begitu, paraphrasing what others have stated to you, just to clarify, to seek more or less to confirm ataupun seek clarification on what the person has been saying to you. Okay, right. So other things like talking at a normal volume or normal rate, yeah, speak slowly but at a normal volume. Ya, jangan memekik-mekik ya. Don't shout when you talk. Ya, talk normally because when you shout, it has other connotation. Ya, konotasinya adalah it may means that you are angry to them lah, but intentionally you not. Jadi jangan disalahfahamkan ya. So speak slowly, make sure that people understand you. Use appropriate tone of voice, yeah, and the voice should be firm but not calm. Yes, a firm voice and in the right tone. Yeah, jadi the kind of tone you use also has meaning behind it. Yeah, emphasizing something, you may use certain tone. Yeah, be aware of body posture, language. This has nothing to do with the words lah, tapi uh, we talk more about this later on, it's particularly body language, body posture. Um, People may pay more attention to your body posture than the words you are saying. Ini bahaya, right? One of the things about communication is that eye contact is very important. Yeah, eye contact is very important. Don't look away from people when you're talking to. Ya. Kadang-kadang you bercakap dengan seorang and your eyes is looking at something else on your right or left and so on. Itu macam we're not interested in talking to the person in front of you, more or less. Yeah, that's the connotation of it lah. Right. So your body language can be interpreted differently. Can mean different thing other than the words that you use in the communication. So be aware of the body language ataupun body posture. Sometimes using the word I statements to express yourself is a sign of being assertive, sign of confidence and all that. Yeah. So when you say something, this is I believe this is true. I think this is what we should be doing. So the word I statement too plays a very important role there. Right? Okay, let's try. Maybe doing some exercise. Yeah, for example, here. So on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being always or almost true, and 1 always or almost not true or false. Yeah? So let's look at this statement here. Okay? Statement 1. Okay. I would express my opinion in a group even if my view contradicted the opinions of others. What do you say to that? So if you put a 5 or 4, then you are being assertive compared to if you score a 1. Secondly, when asked to do something that I really don't want to do, I can say no without feeling guilty. True or untrue? Right. If you say true, you are being assertive. If not, if you think it's false, then you are not assertive enough. Okay, you can express your opinion to your supervisors on the job. Okay, so that's also if you say yes or always and so on, that's mean you are being assertive as well. Right? I can start up a conversation with a stranger on a bus or on a train or in a airplane or at a business gathering without fear. Okay, that's a sign of assertiveness as well. Yeah. So these are some example of how assertive are your messages and so on. Okay, you can voice objection to people's behavior, even if you feel it fringes on your rights. Okay, so that's a sign of being assertive as well. So what does all this mean? It means that you are trying to communicate, yeah, your messages, your information, yeah, your feelings, your thoughts and all that, yeah, to the other person. Jadi contoh-contoh ini adalah the way to describe that you are being assertive, that you believe in yourself, you are confident in the way you communicate with the other person. The whole idea is the message is received as it is intended. Okay? Kalau tidak, masalahnya some of the messages are lost, and so that will affect the effectiveness of your communication. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we are at the end of our session. It's almost 2 hours. My intention is to deliver this in less than 2 hours. So once again, words are very powerful, and so be very careful in the choice of words and how you use it, and also in terms of um, macam mana kita gunakannya, the tones, um, the volume, ataupun sama ada orang boleh dengar apa yang kita katakan ataupun tidak, ya, cara kita mengatakannya, dan juga who are we communicating with lah. You have to be aware of these factors, ya. And we use words for many purposes. Ya, banyak kegunaan perkataan ataupun words, verbal, ya, communication ini. So we try to convince people. We try to gain sympathy from people. You want people to understand something and so on. Jadi kegunaan perkataan ataupun words ini serve different purpose, right? So the same word can mean different thing to different people, right? So just be aware that there are different words that you can use actually to express the same thing, and choose the right one, yeah, for the right purpose, and also depending on the culture of the where the communication is happening as well. Okay, so choose your words wisely. That's a very good advice. Yeah, choose your words wisely. Um, in order to avoid misunderstanding, that's one. Secondly, to make sure that, of course, your message is well received as intended, meaning, right? And also without any negative connotations, yeah, with regard to the words that you use. Okay, right. So use word for many purposes, and I think that's all that I have for today. Very short and presentation on verbal communication. Jadi kalau nak tahu tentang apa nama the issue of verbal communication banyak ya banyak, but the emphasis here is on certain things lah ya, on the use of words and so on ya. Jadi any if there is any question or comment or sharing from you, any comment, anybody?
No, both.
No.
Okay, so let me close this one and we can communicate further. Komunikasi secara online. Okay, let's communicate secara online sini. Okay, all right. I can see metric number. I can see some names here. Natalie, John, you stay around, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, where are you, by the way?
I'm at home.
Yeah, where home?
Semarahan.
Oh, Semahan. Oh, ini dekat saja, sebelah aja.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, macam sebelah rumah sebelah aja lah. So, any comment from you?
Mm, I don't think so.
Tak ada. Do you think this is useful?
I guess so, sir.
Okay, alright. You can communicate dalam BM lah untuk kelas ini. Don't worry. Yeah, if you want to express yourself in BM, so dalam bahasa Malaysia, I mean. Who else that I can pick here? Ashvini, how are you doing? Ashvini, anak perempuan Mutia.
I'm good, sir.
You are doing okay. Where are you at the moment?
Kuching.
Kuching.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, lines are okay. Connectivity, all right?
Yeah, okay, Jeff.
Okay, all right. Okay, who else? Let me look in the other page. All right. Gibson, di mana?
Hi, sir.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good.
Where are you at? Di mana sekarang ni?
Rimas campus.
Huh? Di campus ya?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're lucky you are in here. Shouldn't be any problem with internet connectivity lah.
Yeah, no.
All right, good. Okay, Felicia. I don't know your full name. I just see your name on screen. Felicia.
Hello, sir.
Ya, di campus juga kah?
Can you hear me?
Huh? Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Kamu di mana sekarang?
Cebu.
Oh, okay, all right. In town, right?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. But outside of Cebu, there may be problem with communication. Do you have any problem with your or any experience with problem words, the use of words in communication?
No.
Iniban ke bahasa Melanau ke English ke apa dah? Nothing, no problem. That's very good. I do have a lot of problem when I was, I mean, not a lot lah, I mean, a few problems when I was, since I was young until now. I do have problems, but I try to reduce that problem, particularly on misunderstanding. I think I mentioned to you, I don't know if I'm mentioning to you the fact that people misunderstood me for what I am among colleague during the early years of Unimas dulu lah. Yeah? We had very few of us, but this friend who's now retired, my it has nothing to do with words lah, but cuma salah faham tentang the way I behave, being quiet and all that, ya, tak tegur orang sangat, ya, because macam malu-malu sebagainya, disebut ataupun was perceived sebagai sombong. That's something that I learned later lah, and then of course, he became good friend lah to me. Yeah, once he knew me as I am. Okay. Jadi salah faham kegunaan kenyataan itu pernah berlaku dalam hidup saya, dan mohon maaf itu perkara biasa, right? Don't be scared of sorry, the word pun susah nak sebut, to apologize, ya, for your mistake and so on. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Engineering student, adakah engineering sini?
There was me, sir.
Uh-huh. All right. Do you have any problem with you have experienced any problem with this?
Sometimes I do have
Ada.
problems with words.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Sometimes it's not that I get shy, it's just that my brain doesn't work, so
Okay.
my words are not connected.
Okay. Is that because of cultural problem or background ataupun macam mana? Different
Adalah
culture?
juga sometimes cultural because I'm Iban. Sometimes I get mixed like some Iban words into my BM
Oh,
like
okay.
BM sentences.
All right. That's the word lah, ya, perkataan. Now talking about Iban is by the way, for those of you yang bukan dari Sarawak ni mungkin tak berapa tahu sangat tentang di Sarawak ni, Iban is the largest ethnic group actually, yeah, di Sarawak. Still, I think the largest in terms of percentage. So the language among Iban in the town and the rural areas may be a little bit different. Iban di bandar tu banyak gunakan campur-campur dengan bahasa Malaysia dan sebagainya. So misunderstanding can happen lah between people, right? In terms of language, particularly if you're talking about two persons of different background and also different culture. Definitely misunderstanding can happen. So you use the right thing to do is to use a language which can be commonly understood by both sides. Tapi as far as communicating is concerned, or communication is concerned, language used in communication, it can be a mixture of English, bahasa Malaysia, Iban sebagainya, as long as the meaning adalah seperti yang kita mahulah. Alright, so yeah, I'm quite sure some of us have experienced something like that as well. Anybody else before we close the session? It's 10 o'clock, exactly 2 hours. Okay, kalau tak ada, saya try to stop the recording dulu sekejap.